Welcome to the Why Not You podcast, where our goal is to inspire, teach, and elevate your personal journey. Our heart-centered guests love sharing some of their life-changing aha moments, hoping that it might be of benefit to you. Hello, everyone. I'm Glade Poulsen from Idaho. I know. What in the world can some potato seed from Idaho possibly share that might prove beneficial? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself and we'll find out. My upbringing was pretty traditional for a farm kid. Early on, I learned the value of hard work and tenacity. Unfortunately, my mother passed away when I was very young, so I was raised by my father, sisters, and brothers. My brothers were determined to toughen me up, and let me tell you, they were dedicated to their self-assigned task. I drew the tough jobs, got no slack, and was expected to do what I was told, when I was told, and to do it right. My upbringing was pretty traditional for a farm kid. Early on, I learned the value of hard work and tenacity. When I finished college, I took my crisp new degree and sent resumes from Bangor, Maine to San Diego, California. The best job offer I received was handing out towels at the local rec center. My pay, a whopping $3.50 an hour, minimum wage. The summer before I earned my degree, I had sold pots and pans in Houston, Texas. I made more in 3 weeks than I would have at the rec center, working 40 hours a week for 6 months straight. I knew sales held the potential for a lot more money, and I knew I could sell any product I believed in. As I mentioned, my brothers had hammered a strong work ethic into me. I was sure I could outwork anyone. Instead of dedicating myself to tossing terry cloth to sweaty guys, I took a commission-only position selling modular homes. The company was fairly new, and they had nothing to lose by hiring a newbie. I had some success, and I endured some setbacks, the most significant of which was the recession in the late 70s that drove interest rates over 17%. All the while, I was reading, studying, and trying to learn about self-improvement, motivation, and anything I could find in the personal development area. At that time, there wasn't much available, but I never quit looking, and I built a firm grasp on the basics. Since then, the genre has absolutely exploded, and I've kept digging. I want to share with you what I've learned. I hope it will either jumpstart your career or give you some incentive to keep digging. As we begin, I want to be clear about one thing. There are no easy answers. I've been at this for over 40 years. I consider myself a self-starter, a go-getter, and an entrepreneur. And I'm busting my behind every day. This may be a shock to you, but success is not easy, and it is almost never continual. Anyone who claims to have encountered overnight success is either very lucky or delusional. While I believe that almost anyone can triumph in life or in business, the road to achievement is narrow, winding, and fraught with opportunities for disaster. And I've had a few doozies actually. I've seen a booming business brought to its knees by economic conditions completely beyond my control. There have been times when I was so enamored by my professional accomplishments that I didn't pay attention to my personal life to keep things from disintegrating. And nothing, and I mean nothing, hurts more than climbing to the top of some mythical peak of performance, only to turn around and realize you're standing there all alone. I'm not an expert about life, relationships, sales, or anything else. Although totally biased sources tell me I'm a world-class grandpa. I'm not trying to tell you anything. What I want to do is share my experiences with you, explain what has worked for me, point out some of the ditches that I've wandered into, and maybe, just maybe, help you along the path of your life. My father was a good man, but he didn't know much about being an entrepreneur or business. If he had known these things, he would have shared them with me in a New York second. But you can't teach what you have never encountered. I've learned a thing or two about what to do and what not to do. If I can shorten your learning curve so that you don't have to make some or all of the mistakes that I've made, and you can glean a little bit of wisdom, then we have done well. I'll tell you a few stories, and I hope that they convey the principles that I've learned along this roller coaster journey of life that I've encountered. I'd like to show you what's worked for me and to shine a light on your path so that you can avoid some of the craters that I've fallen into. Do I have a particular platform from which I see life? Yeah, I do. We all do. Full disclosure, I'm a man of faith, a Christian, but this is not a religious podcast. I'm not trying to convert anyone to anything except to excellence. From time to time, I will refer to messages or quotations that have helped me. Some may be from the Bible. I'll use stuff from other sources. I encourage you to look past the faith aspects of anything I say and dig into the message, the principles. Find the core. Take away anything you find that benefits you. And as one of my mentors often says, take the meat, throw away the bones. Principles never change. Only the tactics do. I don't have a political horse in the race. I don't have any private agendas. Well, maybe that's not entirely correct. My agenda lies in wanting to give back. For a farm boy from Idaho and a graduating class of 38 people, I've had an incredible journey with tons of highs and some low lows. But I want to give back. I hope that some of the people that I've gotten to know, the principles that I've learned, the mindsets I continue to use, and the vision of what is possible will give you the same dynamic jet fuel power that they have given me. I have risen to levels I never dreamed were possible. Not because I'm some super smart, abundantly inventive person. I'm not. I'm a great believer in the adage that 90% of creativity is forgetting where you stole it. And as Thomas Jefferson said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. In all seriousness, I will strive to give complete credit for every concept I share. I have combined, amalgamated, and refined ideas from thousands of sources and countless hours of study. Perhaps I'm not ingenious enough to have thought of these concepts on my own, but I like to believe that I've been savvy enough to recognize a great idea when I find one. Now, I'm going to help you find yours. When I have forgotten my habits, or gotten sloppy, or focused on the wrong things, I've fallen into some deep chasms. But those self-same principles have pulled me out with renewed energy, vitality, and burgeoning self-belief. Failure is not always optional, but wallowing in it is. I want you to dream. I want you to dare. I want you to accomplish. I want you to do everything that you've ever considered at a higher level than you ever imagined. The guests to whom I will introduce you are just like you and me. They've had success. They've had adversity. They've known disappointment. And yet, they've enjoyed triumph. Success is a force of nature. It actually has its own gravity. It attracts us and pulls us towards high achievement with the same irresistible attraction with which the earth holds us. If you lock on to the right fundamental elements, I'm talking the good stuff, you may encounter difficulties. In fact, I guarantee you will. But you will not drift. You will not float away into the void of failure. I like to think of myself as someone who locks in on high standards for excellence. But I am also human. I have weaknesses, trust me. I make mistakes and drift from time to time. And there have been times when I grew so enamored with my achievements and success that I lost sight of how I earned my place. And I crashed every single time. Call it cause and effect. Call it retribution. Call it karma. The name really doesn't matter. When we lose sight of the North Star of our guiding principles, we will lose our way. It's like walking around in a pitch black room without shoes. You can't see. You don't know where any of the furniture is. And you're destined to smash your overconfident toe into something. If you were listening because you were in search of the secret, if you're looking for the magic pill, this is not the podcast for you. Sorry, guys, but I'm not going to give you a secret formula. Finding your guiding principles isn't very hard. Anyone can do it. But sticking to them requires a lifetime of dedication, focus, and a four-lettered word, work. Success is not an entitlement. I believe the only thing life owes you and me is a chance. I'm going to introduce you to some very interesting people, men and women who made the most of their chances, learned from their mistakes, gleaned a bit here and there, and they put in the work. They did not sit around thinking the world owed them something. They moved to the very top of their fields, and they did it the very same way you and I can, one step at a time. Thank you so much for investing your time to listen in to some incredible friends and acquaintances. I promise you that I will never have anyone on this podcast who has not accomplished something interesting. We are living in a world awash with information. Some good, some not so much. Today we can Google any topic and be inundated, but we are starved for wisdom. We can find opinions on everything. There are as many agendas out there as there are people, but few out there has done the work. I am going to introduce you to men and women who have dirt under their fingernails and metaphorical calluses on their hands. They've done it. They've put in the work. And once you meet them, you will hear them say, "I did it. Why not you?"